This is Brad Nine, Director of Academy Soccer Operations for Tormenta FC, and I'm Tormenta Strong.
This is Blake Stover, and I'm Tormenta Strong.
Blake, my man, I'm so excited to be here with you today on this conversation. We really want to know what players are doing during the coronavirus pandemic to continue growing as a soccer player and as a person, and how school's going and how it's all happening. This is the first time for any of us to have to go through this. And I wanted to pick you, Blake. I've known you since you were 7, maybe?
Yeah, a long time.
Since you were 7, we're talking like maybe 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. We used to run around and play 6-on-6 tournaments all over the Southeast, and sometimes get crushed, sometimes crush people. But Blake was always our trusty left-footed player that could serve the ball in, and he's had quite a run here with Tormenta as we go along. I wanted to get a little background on Blake first, kind of his origin story, why he chose to play soccer, what drew him to the game. Why was soccer his thing? He's stuck with it. He trains 4 or 5 days a week and plays games on the weekends. And how did this become his thing? So Blake, man, I want you to start at a young age. I'm talking like your first memories, 3, 4, 5, whatever those memories might be, and walk me through what this journey's been for you.
Yeah, so my family's always been a soccer family. My mom started off, she was actually the first girl to play on the Savannah Christian boys soccer team back in middle school. So soccer has kind of always been in the family. And then my older brother, Mason, who's about 2.5, 3 years older than me, he started playing soccer at a really young age. So I was always kind of around the game, always at the field watching him play. And then I started playing around probably the age of 4, playing for rec teams in Savannah, CGSA. And then as I got a little older, around the age of 8, I joined SSA, which was Savannah Soccer Academy, which was kind of the first iteration of Tormenta FC, with Coach Jeremy kind of branching off and starting it. So I started there my first season, playing club with you as my first coach of our young team.
So we would, one of my memories from that time is we would be training, and this might be our first year or second year, and you guys were all tiny. You all were 8 or 9 years old, but you guys had some technical skills to begin with, and then we got even better. And we'd be doing activities at Jennifer Ross and keep away or small-sided games. We'd be zipping passes around, and onlookers would be walking by and just be like, where are these kids from? How did these kids get this good? Like, it was like I remember sitting there and just watching people walk by and just have these looks on their faces like, how did these kids get like this? And that was at young ages.
Yeah.
So what's it been like since then? What have you been up to? Since we're talking so you come in at 8, you're playing on a decent team, and then what do you got?
So I was playing with the younger team, and then we kind of all grew up together. Playing club as a team. Had some different coaches. Coach Jeremy coached us for a very long time, probably 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then a little more recently, we had Coach Io, who took over coaching our team.
Sure.
Did a lot of work with him. He helped raise the level a good bit, really demanded a high work ethic from all of us. I remember I would train every Thursday morning before school with Coach Io at the YMCA.
Nice.
Be up bright and early, 5 o'clock in the morning to get there, do some training, and then go to school, and then go to practice after school. So it's a lot of hard work, but paid off. We started playing in the National Premier League. I think maybe 2 years ago we started that. and we've had some success with that. And then even more recently, we went to the USL Academy Showcase Tournament with you and Coach Ian and Coach Jeremy. And we performed really well there. We got first place in our bracket. Really enjoyed working with Coach Ian a little bit because I had been working with him in the past when I went to Statesboro for the reserve team, development team.
Right.
Where we had a combination of academy players and then previous academy players who are now playing in college, coming back and training with, top level college players and even professional players from the Tormenta USL 1 team. So that was really a big stepping stone for me as a player, learning a lot from older people, gaining a little bit of physicality from playing with those big guys, and just helping build the team chemistry that we had already built between a lot of the players since we've been playing together from the age of 8, 9 on Tormenta, growing up, playing together now in high level tournaments with college coaches watching. Really a big growth as a team.
Yeah, there's definitely some core guys that have 6 or 7, probably 8 of you guys that have really all from that first team that we had in 2009 I think it was fall 2009 that has played together this entire time, and it's been fun for me as well because even the guys that didn't stick with it, I see them around and we have these cool conversations still, and they're as old as you, and they're not too cool for me, and I know you guys all talk about in school and play high school together. What high school do you go to, Blake?
Benedictine Military School.
Yeah, tell me some stuff about that soccer program and what you guys have going on there.
Yeah, so I was really excited going in playing for BC. I finally got to play with my older brother Mason for the first time. He was a senior when I was a freshman.
Were you guys both on varsity at the time?
Yeah, we both played varsity together, so
man, that'd be nice for your mom, because then she only had to go one place to watch you guys play.
Yeah. Yeah, so that year we had a really solid team, and we went all the way. We made it to the playoffs, and then just before the playoffs, I actually fractured my lower back. So I was knocked out for about 6 months. So I didn't get to play in the playoffs, but the team did go on to win the state championship. So that was really cool. Even though I wasn't playing, I still got the experience, got to travel, go to Mercer and see the nice locker rooms and watch my team win a state title. So that was really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then in high school, it really helped develop me, especially since I was playing varsity as a freshman. I was really small compared to a lot of the guys I was up against, the big seniors. So I think that kind of helped me for club soccer too, just building that physicality and really wanting it a lot.
Then, for sure. Just learning how to, you have to rely on different strengths when you play against older kids. It really is something that high school soccer brings out, I think.
Yeah. And then so my sophomore year at BC, we had a pretty solid team. A lot of Tormenta players actually played with the team also. I think we had maybe 4 starters from Tormenta.
Awesome.
So it was a nice little mix of club and then people from the school.
Sure.
And we made it to the playoffs again. And unfortunately, again, I broke my foot right before the playoffs.
Oh my gosh, Blake. Wow.
So I was out for the playoffs that year as well. We made it all the way to the semifinals. And unfortunately, we lost 2-1 in the semifinals. It was a little bit tougher our sophomore year because we had moved up to the 3A when previously we were in 2A.
Yeah, so, that was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we built a lot of rivalries in 3A pretty quickly with the other Savannah teams, Islands and Savannah Arts mainly were the 2 big rivalry games that we had.
Right.
Playing against other Tormenta players that I've been playing with my whole life on the other team. It was a really cool experience. Got to play against some of the original players, see how the other side was.
Yeah.
And then junior year came along, and we had this brand new, massive FIFA regulation size field built. It was really amazing. We finally got to train and play at BC. It's really nice.
Let me interrupt you for a second. That turf is legit. Like,
yeah,
we were going to schedule a USL League 2 game there this summer, and it may still go off if we can get it organized here. But I mean, it is Coach Charlie's done and the BC crew organizing the turf and the width of the field and the length and the stadium that they're going to have it in place. I mean, it is first class.
Yeah. And also working with different coaches is a good perspective builder, working with Coach Charlie, Coach Knight, all the different coaches, Coach Turb. You really build up new perspective. You get new views on the game, different things that maybe some of your other coaches wouldn't point out, they can point out. So you learn a lot doing that. And Miss Knight was our fitness coach. And that was one thing that really took off our junior year. We had this massive field, and we knew if we could be the most fit team, we'd have the biggest advantage, using the whole field, the width.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and that also helps me in club, all the running we do, it really gets you in good shape for your club season. So
Right. Yeah, man, that's your experience over the course of these last 14 years in soccer. It seems like you're super dedicated to the sport. You have dreams and goals of pursuing playing in college and maybe playing professionally one day, lacing up for Tormenta or somebody else. I mean, these are all dreams, I would imagine, that you're having at this point. And then come your junior year, quarantine happens.
Yeah.
And what a bummer that is, huh?
Yeah, missed my third playoffs in a row. On a little bit of a bad streak here, but hopefully next year I'll be all healthy and we won't have any problems. So
like, you've had a lot of time now. Of course, I'm guessing you're getting some work from BC. Are you like, how are you staying fit and in soccer shape and getting better with the ball, and having time for your homework and all of these things? How are you doing? And you're still trying to be recruited by college coaches. So there's a lot of things that are in play right now for you. What are you doing to make all this happen at this point?
Yeah, so I've been training in small groups recently with some current Tormenta players that I've been playing with for a long time, and then some college players who used to play for Tormenta have come back.
Oh,
and they're back in Savannah, so I've been training with them some. So that really helps kind of keep the edge sharp, stay on my game, working with older players, stuff like that. And then I've been doing some running on my own just to make sure I'm staying in shape so it's not too bad when we're going back full swing.
Sure.
And then, just balancing out my schoolwork with all that.
What's the schoolwork like? Is that a couple hours a day, or is that kind of do you have like big projects to do, or what are you doing with that?
Yeah, so right now we're having 2 classes a day in the morning. So normally I wrap up my classes around 11:30ish, and then I'll usually take some time to do homework and prepare for my AP exams that I have coming up next week.
Sure.
So I'll do stuff like that for maybe an hour or two. And then I'll focus on soccer stuff. I go train typically around 5 o'clock, train for a couple hours, and then come home, relax for a little bit, and then repeat the next day.
Yeah, and with all that, are you finding time to email college coaches or call them or put a video of yourself playing together? How are you processing that piece at this point?
Yeah, so it's gotten a little bit complicated, obviously, with the whole thing. All the ID camps are getting canceled and such, so a lot of the communication is just through email right now, just talking to coaches, staying in touch, keeping interest, and then hopefully once everything opens back up, I can go and do visits and things of that sort, more ID camps, maybe staying at some colleges and trying to feel out how I like them.
Sure.
And then showcases coming back. Obviously, we unfortunately had the Dallas Cup canceled, which would have been a really cool experience, going to Dallas with the team, playing in front of a bunch of coaches at really high competition levels.
Absolutely.
And then also we had the USL Academy, the second tournament, also got canceled, which we were all really excited about because of how well we performed in the first tournament. So we were looking forward to that one, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that. So
yeah, there's a lot of I guess anticipation looking forward to the fall and getting us all back on the field and organized and ready to go. So no, that sounds like you're keeping yourself pretty busy, school-wise, soccer-wise, mix in a little bit of recruiting. I'm sure you have some fun involved in there somewhere, outside of sport or school. So, and eating healthy and all that stuff, is all that still coming together?
Yeah, still trying to eat healthy. I still
Getting
get
enough
my
sleep and everything.
Yeah. Pick up my BC lunch every day. They still provide lunches for us. So I'm, eating some BC lunch there, and then cooking breakfast, stuff like that.
Awesome, man. That's any new hobbies you picked up throughout this this time?
Nothing too crazy. Mason's back in town from college, and we have a little three-way competitive rivalry on the ping pong table between me, him, and my younger brother Joseph. So
that's great.
I've been playing a good bit of ping pong.
Who's winning so far?
I think I'm the best by far.
I'm gonna make sure to tag Mason in this video so that he can do that for sure. That's fantastic. You come lefty on the ping pong table too?
No, I'm righty on the ping pong. Right-handed, left-footed.
That's great. That is awesome, Blake. Well, man, some great stories here, and I love what you're doing during coronavirus time. Do you have any, a fondest memory of your youth soccer experience, or something that's pretty memorable that stands out to you that you relive in your head that this was a really cool thing you did throughout?
Yeah, man, there's just so much. Like, basically my whole childhood was built around soccer and traveling with the team, the long car rides with all packed into one car, staying in the hotels together, all the tournaments.
I could see those being some of the really good memories, like, because you guys are so tight, and there's just going to be lifetime friendships forged out of originally what your parents set up for you as getting you into soccer, but then what you processed as a love for the game and something you want to continue playing. And these friendships were created, right? Like through car rides in the hotels, you think?
Yeah, really helped build up the friendships, Started off just playing soccer together, and then we all became, a really tight group of friends, hang out on the weekends when we're not traveling and such, which also can contribute to, building the team chemistry, which can lead to a lot of the success we've had recently.
Oh, for sure. And not to mention the want to go to practice to be around your buddies. That's what you want to do. You want to be around them anyways, and you're there at practice. So, so that you would say that was kind of your fondest memory of growing up, in this type of system. Yeah,
just all the good times spent with all my friends is really sticks out to me. Just remembering the fond times, good moments.
No, I love it, man. So you do have a lot of future goals for soccer. What are a couple of things? If you could tell me your three biggest goals, and I'd love to hear your goals for life too. What you want to be when you go to college and coming out of college, and so if you could talk to me a little bit about what your soccer dreams are, and then where does Blake see himself doing in 15 years, and how's that going to happen?
Yeah, so I'd say one of my main goals is to find a college that is good for soccer where I can play, and also really rigorous academically, because I've always worked really hard in school, taking all my AP courses, studying and doing all that. And I want to, have a college that can really set me up for my future. One of my dreams is to potentially join maybe the FBI or Secret Service or something along those lines.
Nice.
So, yeah, nice high-level college would kind of boost me into that direction and kind of take me where I want to go.
Yeah. What do you need with that? Like a master's degree, or have you looked that far into it, or is that?
So what I'm thinking is maybe pre-law degree mixed in with some sort of criminal justice or psychology, maybe even if you get into the psychology part of the FBI, which has always really interested me.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. That'd be a cool dream. You just have to leave some time open so you can come back and help me coach some kids. Every now and then.
Yeah, the coaching's been fun. You learn a lot doing coaching just as much as you do playing, developing as a person too.
Yeah, especially having you out there with like the top soccer groups. And I know you've been doing this for such a long time now. With you come out and help me at my Sweet Feet camps and the younger kids with Tormenta camps. And I would just give Blake this is Blake when you were probably like 15 or so. I would just give you the 4 and 5 year olds, and you'd be over there playing with them all day, just having the best time ever.
Yeah, it's always good. It's like, I've grown up playing soccer, and then now I get to turn around and help other kids enjoy the game, as they're growing up playing soccer. So it's really rewarding to see. Yeah,
man, I love it. So soccer-wise, is playing in college something you see? It sounds like it's something you see yourself doing. So that would be the next kind of thing you're shooting for?
Yeah, I'd say that's the next step, and then maybe potentially doing what a lot of the college players do now, where they come back and play with the Tormenta 2 team and stay sharp during the summers, stuff like that, in order to help keep my game up.
Man, that would be so cool, seeing you as an 8-year-old and then as a 20-year-old, just participating in the game you love and thriving in it. That'd be so cool for me to see.
Yeah.
So, man, I got one more real hard-hitting question here for you. So you've been playing sport for so long. You've been around good coaches. You've been around people that really care about you. That it's your it's their passion. It's your passion. It's and not only does sport teach you so much on the field, but in life is my opinion. How has the soccer experience you've had set you up to be a success in the future?
Yeah, so I'd say like one of the main traits that soccer's always helped me develop was my leadership abilities. I've always been running the warm-ups for the team, doing stuff, leading on the field, leading in school soccer and in club soccer. So that's really helped me for my leadership going into the future.
I think just if I can add in there a second, I think you hold people accountable really well. If someone's doing something good, you let them know, but if someone needs to pick their game up, you also let them know that, which is when I got around the team a little bit more this spring, it was fun for me to watch.
Yeah. And then another thing that I really soccer's helped me with is like scheduling and time management, because I've always had the strict schedule. I go to school and then I get my schoolwork done, and then I go to practice and then I go home, which kind of helps build up, there's always a schedule to it. It's not just go to school, go home and be lazy for the rest of the day. Sure. It's, you're always on a strict timeline, which helps, prepare you for college and even for the world after college.
Oh, absolutely. That's so important. And that's, during this time of coronavirus, I've been reading a lot of stories where, people have, they've kind of lost their goal or their drive a little bit, but this time management piece and this leadership piece that you have developed over the course of your time, I think that might be helping you out with, staying driven and those types of things. Yeah.
And another really big thing that I've developed specifically for me is independence. Because a lot of times when I was younger, my mom's single mom with 4 kids, so sure. She's got a lot on her plate back here at home. So a lot of times when we would travel long distance, I'd go with other families.
Yep.
And I'd have to organize my money, make sure I was always ready. So that really built up my independence going forward and going into college as well. Like I'm really prepared to be on my own and still keeping that strict schedule and making sure I'm on time for everything.
No, absolutely. Big shout out to Julie for, keeping you all four of you on the straight and narrow. And I know Joe's having big success, and Grace will be the next one coming up, and Mason's rocking it at Georgia Tech. I've loved just getting to know all of you and all that this entire time. It's been a blast for me. But, during the rest of this quarantine, I wish you the best of luck, Blake. I cannot wait to see you back on the field running around with all the boys, making it happen. I'm hoping we can get out end of May, beginning of June, to start doing some soccer things and really get in the full swing in the fall. So, of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the government and what they say we can do and what, our sanctioning bodies say we can do. But I'm missing it, man. But this was a fantastic phone call to bring it back together.
Yep.
So look forward to chatting soon, buddy. Once again, this is Brad Nine, Operational Director for Tormenta FC Academy. Look forward to seeing everybody on the field soon. Blake, you have any last pieces here for us?
No, just really enjoyed the call, catching up with you, and talking a little bit about what I've been doing during quarantine, stay in shape and all.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right.